tell me what is on-page optimization? On-page.
Anything which is done on the website is on page, like
On-page.
meta titles or
So again, why we have to optimize within our site?
To get all the proper keywords and to make it searchable.
Okay, then what is off-page? Why?
Off page is like all about backlinks and all.
Why
So
again?
improving the
What is the
quality of the
importance of
page,
having a
improving the
backlinks?
quality of page so that we can generate good traffic, and like increasing domain authority, page authority, and all that. So it keeps up on the search engine.
Right. So in order to improve your domain authority and page authority, so you are trying to get some quality backlinks from the relevant websites and all. So why we are doing all these optimization techniques just to be
Searchable means on the top of search page.
just to be on top, right? Just to have a good rankings for our website when someone searches with a particular keyword which is suitable for our blog or else for our website.
Improving organic
Search, right? So now what I'm trying to say is that, so at the beginning I told you, right, 40% on page and 40% off page and remaining 20% is server side. So server side do have a alternative name like a technical SEO. Okay, see here, technical SEO. So not if you want to have a better rankings for your website, not only on page and off page is required. So you need to optimize from the server side also. That is what simply we call it as a technical SEO. From the server side, from the back end, if you have any issues within your side, so you have to try to resolve those issues. That is what simply server side. Okay, what all the things we can try to cover the things in the server side is, first thing is the sitemap. Dead links or broken links, level, oral, or else canonical tag. You can comes here redirections. First thing it is sitemap. What is this sitemap? So now tell me guys how we can make Google to crawl and index our website. How?
through the
Google console.
Google.
Through the search console, right?
Yeah.
Simply, so we will be associating our website with the search console so that we can easily inspect whatever the blog post URL you want to inspect it. Am I right? Okay, so if you have a 1 to 10 pages, so is that possible for you to inspect each and every URL? 1 to 10 pages,
Yeah,
or else
by
1 to 10
going
blogs.
through domain
Yes,
rather than
ma'am.
prefix.
So we can easily copy the link of any blog post URL and we can inspect it. It's not problem. It's not a big issue. Okay. So if you have a 100 to 200 or 100 to 500 URLs, can you do that? Can you inspect?
Yes, ma'am. It's the same
Yes,
way,
of
right?
course. Yes, of
Yeah.
course, right? The same way. But it takes some time. So making Google and making each and every URL inspection would take some time. Okay, fine. This is also we can do.
We have domain, right? I mean, like, this is one domain, there's one prefix. So if we enter the domain, it will search all the pages within the domain, right?
So, but though we have to make our blog post URL inspect so that Google can particularly visit our blog and Google will crawl. Okay, so
Okay.
that's the reason we are trying to inspect each and every URL. Okay, fine. What about if you have a 1 lakh of pages or post in your website? So is that possible for you again? So would you like to inspect each and every URL like this, sitting and then inspecting? Instead of doing this inspection work, you can try spending your time by doing some SEO kind of things. Am I right? So let's say if it is an e-commerce, we will be having a lakhs of products. So again, inspecting each and every product URL in a search console would be like a hectic for us. We won't be able to. So we might miss, sometimes we might miss some URLs as well. So what is the sitemap mean? Simply, in order to overcome that issue, like, uh, when Google comes to your website, it will crawl and it will index. But if you have a sitemap to your website, that means simply you are showing the structure, same like you're giving a map of your website to the Google. So see this, now I gave a map to Sumit and I didn't give a map to Asher. I was just dictating my address to the Asher, but whereas for Sumit, I gave the map of my address. So tell me, for whom it would be easy for reach out?
Map.
Map,
Map.
right? So why?
Yeah.
Because map will be having some structure, so that people can follow that structure. Then it would be easy for a Sumit to reach out. But whereas for Asher, it would be like difficult for him, right, to reach out. Why? Because there is no map. There is no structure. That is what simply sitemap for our website. So if we submit our sitemap, then we are making easier for a Google in order to crawl or index our website. Now let me say that this is my website. It is my domain. So my domain will be having a lot of pages, right? So
Yes.
pages and posts, categories, tags, and many things. So all those pages might be interlinked. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
will be interlinking, we will be giving some internal links and we will be giving some external links as well. So let's say this is how the structure of our website. Now when Google visit our site, so Google will get confused from where it has to go and from where it has to, where it has to end. So that's the reason when I apply sitemap to this for my website, when Google comes to my website, it will understand the complete structure. So from where I have to go, and from this website where the link has been given, and from this website where the link has been going. So everything Google can understand, and Google will crawl each and every link and each and everything pin to pin. It will calculate and it will crawl. So that is the reason, to make sure Google to crawl each and everything present in my website, I am trying to use this sitemap. Did you understand? Now this is the first interview question you gonna see when when you go for some interview. Okay, so what is a sitemap? That's it. So tell them that it is simply a map for your website, so where you are making Google to understand what exactly the structure of our
Structure
website.
of our website. Yeah.
So it would be easy for a Google to crawl each and everything. Okay, so fine, how I can have a sitemap? Now you know the definition of sitemap and the importance of having this sitemap as well. So how we can perform this sitemap is, so do we know Yoast SEO plugin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes. So once you have a Yoast SEO plugin, you no need to do anything. Automatically, this Yoast SEO plugin will generate a XML sitemap for your site. Okay, now let us see. Let us get into this website. All right. Now, do we have a Yoast SEO plugin in this website?
We didn't download, I guess.
Mhm.
We'll see the plugins.
Plugins.
SEO is
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
on the
we-
website. That's
yeah.
Yoast SEO.
It's a Yoast
It's
SEO,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let us see where we can find out the SEO, or sorry, sitemap.
Sitemap.
Okay, just go to the general options. Okay, there you can see features. Here, can you see XML sitemap? Okay,
Yes,
so now
ma'am.
tell me, XML sitemap is on or off?
On.
On. So if you don't want to have an XML
On.
sitemap to your website, then you don't, you can just go with off. So for it is very, very, very mandatory. So whatever the website might be, so either it is a blog or services oriented or else e-commerce, sitemap is must and should for every website. Okay, so now let us see. So let me see the sitemap of my website. So this is what the sitemap. Okay, the sitemap consists of, it will crawl posts, pages, categories, and
Okay, it
order,
will have all the pages, I guess.
all the pages, right? So it will crawl each and everything. This is what the structure of my sitemap. So when Google comes to this website, so Google will think that yes, everything is fine, so it can easily crawl. So one more thing you have to do is, so you have to get back to the Google Search Console. Now I just done with the sitemap in my website. Again, I have to submit to the Google, right? So in order to submit to Google, so you need to open this Search Console. Just open the Search Console. There you have to submit your. How we can submit a sitemap to the Google? Let me show you. Here, can you see a sitemap option?
Yeah.
Search Console. So go there, and do we have a sitemap.xml?
Okay.
Sitemap.xml. You just need to write like sitemap. Sorry, sitemap.xml. That's it, and then submit it. Automatically, Google will take your sitemap. That easy it is. Okay. So
Okay.
first of all, you should have a sitemap plugin in your website. So if you don't have a Yoast SEO plugin, you can install this plugin also, XML sitemap. Alternative plugin for having a sitemap to your website if you don't want to install Yoast SEO. So if you have this plugin also, it's fine. You no need to do anything. Just get back to the Google Search Console and then enter sitemap.xml and then submit it. Automatically your sitemap will get submitted, and it will show you how many URLs has been fetched. 684 URLs has been discovered. So so daily it will try to crawl and index, and this number won't be constant. Okay, this number will be daily increasing. It might increase or it might decrease, depends on the Google status. Okay, so it will show you when the last time we have submitted the sitemap as well. Okay, when we have submitted
June
last time.
27th.
June
July 3rd.
27th,
July
July
3rd.
July 3rd. Okay, so
This is
last
sitemap.
trade was that June 27th. That means on June 27th, it was the last time that Google has read our website. Okay, so but we have submitted July 3rd. In such a way, you can try to submit it. Right, so this is what sitemap means. The next thing, let me show you the one more thing. So robots.txt. TXT. So what is this robots.txt? It is also a very good server-side optimization. So where you need to be very careful. Right, now let us say I have a home page and I do have a about us page. I have a payment page as well. Let us assume. Fine, 3 pages I have. Now when Google visit your site, is it going to crawl each and everything? Will it crawl everything in your website? Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, right? I told you, right? Again, we are submitting a sitemap. So Google can crawl each and everything that present in our website. Okay, fine. Do you want to crawl payment page as well? Payment page. Do you want Google to crawl payment page as well? So if it's going to crawl payment page, so everything like, my credit card details, whoever fill ups the things in the payment page, it would be like a it won't be like a confidential. So now this payment gateway will be like a very much confidential matter for me. So I don't want to Google to crawl that particular page. Why? Because I don't want to show for the customer directly. So when they fill up some contact, when they fill up, when they add some product to the cart and then check out, then only I have to show this payment page. Otherwise, no. So at that time, I don't want to make Google to crawl that things. Why? Because I'm not doing any SEO for that payment gateway page. Am I right? So then it's a confidential for me. So what I have to do in order to not to make Google to crawl that particular thing. So at that time, this robots.txt will help you. Okay, so if you use this robots.txt, so you can specify to Google that, yes, I don't want to crawl this particular page. I don't want to crawl this particular post. So you can just specify to Google that these are the things I don't want to crawl simply. That is what simply robots.txt. If you don't want to crawl anything within your site, then you can happily choose this robots.txt.
Mhm.
Okay, so again, how I can specify it? Yes, we do have a tag for this robots.txt. I'll show you now. Let's say that I want to see the robots.txt of amazon.com. So I just want to see what all the pages that Amazon is not allowing the Google to crawl. So you can just search like this, amazon.com robots.txt. Okay, so can you see this user agent? So your robots.txt has to follow with this tag, user agent. So first of all, you have to type like this, and then can you say disallow, disallow,
Yes.
disallow slash gp slash card, disallow slash gp dot flex product. So they are not allowing many things. Can you see
Mhm.
again?
Yeah.
Again, they are saying that allow. So if it is showing you like a disallow, that means it is not allowing any robots to crawl these pages. If it's showing you allow, so Google is allow. So this website is allowing the robots. Again, robots can be like Google robots, Yahoo bots, Bing bots. What are those? Those are search engines, right? So for Google, we call it as a search robots. For Yahoo, Yahoo bots, Bing bots. So
Okay.
here, if I use this star mark, so this Amazon, now Amazon is not allowing any search engine like Google or Yahoo, whatever it might be. So it is not allowing any search engines to crawl all these pages. Okay. So if you want to specify only Google, you can just specify it. So just Google bot like this. Can you see? Google bot. Now, these are the pages cannot be crawled by only Google. Getting my point? Yes. So in such a way, you have to start writing the content, writing the tag for which you don't want to crawl. Now tell me, I don't want to crawl my about us page, and I don't want to make Google only. So tell me the tag.
Disallow.
Okay, user agent,
User agent Google.
Google bot. So I have to specify again. Next, disallow.
Yes, disallow. That's
Mhm.
you don't want to.
About us.
Okay.
So I don't want to crawl payment page.
Okay.
And right. So now in such a way I wrote a tag. So where I have to submit the tag? Mhm. Where? Where I have to
Google
submit
console search.
The same page, about us page.
Okay. See here. No need to worry. Just if you have a Yoast SEO plugin, that's enough. Okay.
Okay.
So go to a tools here, Yoast SEO. I told you right earlier, if you have a Yoast SEO plugin, it will help you a lot for doing SEO.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it helps you a lot.
But
Okay, so now here you have an option called tools. Okay, there you can see option called file editor. This allow you to quickly change important files for your SEO. You don't have a robots.txt file, create one here.
Mhm.
Can you see? So by default, your robots.txt file will be like this.
Okay.
Okay. So here, can you see WP hyphen?
Admin.
Here, I'm not allowing the Google to crawl my WP hyphen admin. So what happens if Google crawls this complete dashboard?
Well, I have access to.
everything about
Everyone can access my dashboard, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason here we are decided. So normally for every website, the robots.txt will be like this only. Okay. So if I don't want to allow few pages, I can simply write like this. This allow. Fine. Got it now. So in such a way, you have to use this robots.txt when you don't want to call particular things. Okay. Right. And then save changes to robots.txt. So can you see any robots.txt of any website?
Yeah.
Now can I check the
Yes,
robots.txt
we can
of
check.
sparksvisit.com?
url.com dash slash.
We can check. So your URL /robots.txt. So in such a way, you have to do this robots.txt. The next thing, dead links. Okay, so of course this is not that big issue for SEO, but you have to try being very careful with these dead links as well. So the alternative name for these dead links or broken links. Okay, what is broken links? Let me show you with one example. Now, can you find out the clickable text present over here?
Home syllabus, student zone exam, English, Telugu,
Digital
Kannada.
marketing.
Digital marketing,
Yeah,
ODMT, and then
Okay,
fees. And
fees,
okay,
Telugu.
Yeah.
let me click this clickable text and find. Tell me where I'm redirecting. So I'm redirecting to a particular website, right?
Yeah, Telugu.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, when I click the fees keyword, so it is making me to redirect to another external website. Okay, fine. Let us assume that this Blue Fountain Media, same like a Dizzy Core, this Blue Fountain Media got some issues with the server. So that website is not present live. Now, whenever people click this keyword, so what they can see? What they can see if that website is not present?
They will say some server
Page is
down
not
or
found.
something. Page is not found.
They can see simply some errors kind of thing, right? So like same like a 404 errors. So that is what simply broken link. So broken link means you are making your users to face some broken errors, to face some 404 errors. So if the website is not present live due to some reasons, they might be doing some internal works with their website. That's at some point of time they won't be able to show up their website on live, and people won't be able to see that website. So at that time, so if that website have some any backlinks, so those people can face these kind of 404 errors. Okay, so now for whom it is a bad thing, for ODMT or else for this Blue Fountain Media?
ODM.
For ODMT it is a bad thing.
ODMT.
Why? Because so we
We
are
are
making
giving,
our
yeah.
users to see some errors, right? So it is not good again. So this is what called broken link. Okay, fine. If I give a one link, I can easily recognize that acha, so I gave a link back to that particular website. So do we know how to unlink this? Unlink any text? Do we know how to remove the links? We know how to link.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You
know how
just
to
need to
link.
delete the link from
Delete,
that.
right, sir?
Yeah.
So we'll just unlink it. So we know how to unlink that as well. So if I give a link back to any external website, you can happily and you can manually unlink that. What if you give a hundreds of backlinks to other external website? Do you guarantee that? Are you going to remember each and every link that you gave in your website?
Not possible.
Not possible, right? So we won't be able to find out even. Why? Because I'm not sure that where I gave the link, seriously. So in order to find out my broken links, do I need to check manually everything again? So it takes a lot of time. Am I right? So checking each and every content, going back to your pages, post and the content, and then checking from scratch, it really takes a lot of time. That's the reason. So in order to make it easier, we have a tools. Okay, so that is called broken link checker tool. So I need to remove, right? So definitely I have to remove. Why? Because as it is a broken link, so I'm making users to feel that errors kind of thing. That's the reason I have to remove it. So how to remove it? Let me show you. Broken link checker. So type like this, you'll find n number of tools to find out the broken links in your website. Okay, let me choose this first one, brokenlinkchecker.com. All right, so free check for broken links. Now let me check the broken links for one website. Find broken links. Submitting. So it will process and it will take some time and it will show you what are the broken links. So now, is it going to remove the broken links, or else it is just showing you the broken
It is just
links?
showing.
It
Showing.
is just showing, right?
Yeah.
So it will show you where are your backlinks and where it presents. That's it. But again, removing a backlink, is that your duty or not? So
Yes, ma'am.
it just shows you, that's it. If you have 100 backlinks, it will show you here with the content as well as with the link, it will show you. So again, you have to get back to your dashboard and you have to remove it. Again, it's your duty to remove. But so where is the easier work here? So again, you have to do it, right? So that's the reason, in order to remove your backlink, we're gonna use a one more tool that is called Disavow tool. Okay. So Disavow is a search console tool. Okay. So let me search. It helps you out to remove the broken links. So it's a Disavow link.
Ma'am,
Yes.
before we going to like unlink broken links, so we'll contact with the external person, whoever is that we shared our link, right? With
How do you contact?
no, because we are giving the external link, right? So we must have some data from them to us, like where we can
Okay. Okay, so here Disavow links, it is showing me the websites like DigiCourse and BTQ only. Why? Why it is showing me only few websites? Why not ODMT?
You might be admin of these websites.
Yes, see here with this Gmail ID, I connected two websites. Okay, so now if you want to remove all your broken links, what is necessary here? Definitely you need to have a one search console account for your website. Okay, so if you have already an account for your website, then you can simply choose that account and then click on this Disavow links. All right, so Disavow links. So choose file. What file I have to choose here? What file I have to choose? Here it is asking me to choose a file.
Your
So still it is submitting. So here after a few minutes it will show you the links. Okay, so what are the broken links you have? What you have to do is just copy the complete broken links and then paste it in a notepad or a Word document, whatever it might be. So and that file you have to choose here. Okay, then submit it. Then automatically this Disavow will completely remove all your broken links, whatever you submitted here. Got it? So this is how simple you can remove the broken links. But again, why we need to remove the broken links? Only for users' experience? Only for users, not for SEO again? Yes, of course, SEO also.
SEO also,
it's
right?
not
Yeah.
that important. So it makes your SEO very weakened if you have a many broken links again. Okay. So you always try to strengthen your SEO in each and every corner. Never ever try to weaken. Okay. So that is what happens with a broken link. Okay, all right. The next comes your canonical tag. Okay, guys, fine. I have one question for you. You created a 3 pages like about us 1 and about us 2. Okay, and about us. Created a 3 pages and one page is for desktop version and one page is for kind of mobile version and one page is for tablet version. Can we create different kinds of versions again? Any page, can I do it?
Anyway, it will show like in a 3 different ways,
Responsive,
ma'am.
right? So see here, if you use the Elementor, it will show you the responsive mode also. So you can just choose a tablet mode and you can design it how exactly you wants to show in the tablet and how exactly wants to show in the desktop. Okay, let us say that you created a 3 about us page for one mobile version and for desktop version.
Desktop? Yeah.
Mobile and desktop. So content will be same, right? Again, so only the
Yes, ma'am.
the structure will be
Structure
different,
will be
but
different, yeah.
content will be same. Okay, tell me, when Google comes to your website, what Google will think? 3 pages have a same content. What Google will think?
Yeah. So it's
Same content, not
Same content, right? So it raises some duplicate kind of issues. Why? Because the 3 pages of your web pages of your website consists of a same content.
Same.
Why
Yes.
again? Why I have to show the same content? Why? Because I want to show the different structure for
Structures
different
for, yeah.
devices. But do I need to change the content again? So I don't want to change the content. So whenever people comes to my website through whatever the device might be, I want to show them the same content.
Same content. Okay.
Then again, from the Google perspective, it raises the duplicate issue. So how I can overcome this duplicate content issue? So that is with the help of canonical tag. Okay, so this canonical tag will help you out to overcome the issue of this duplicate content in your website. So now I will assign a canonical tag for this about us 2 and about us 3. So how am I telling to Google that yes, this desktop and tablet are the 2 variations of my page, and my original page was mobile version. Okay, you no need to raise any duplicate content issues. Here I'm just creating a different variations. Okay, see now, if you are about to purchase some hat in Amazon kinds of website, okay, hat, that hat will be having a different colors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like brown or
Black.
and gray and then black. So if you click that brown cap, so that URL will be different. Again, if you click that gray cap, the URL will be different. The black, the URL will be different. Then what happens here? Does it raises the duplicate content issue? The content will be same for each and every product, right? For gray product and brown product and black product, the content will be the same. So again, so in such a way, I'm telling to Google that, acha, gray and black are the simply variations of that product. So my main product was a brown. You no need to change. You no need to raise any kind of duplicate issues. Got it now? So in such a way, I have to make Google to know what exactly my product orders, know what exactly my pages is all about. If you have a different variations. Getting my point?
Yes.
Yes. Now, how I can write this? How? Again, that we can do with the help of canonical tag. Okay. So how we can do is with the help of Yoast SEO plugin. Let's go back. Where is the website? Here it is. Okay. Now let's say I have a few pages. Like, let me get into this pages. Okay, let us assume that I want to have some canonical tag for this sample page. Edit it. In such a way, whatever the page or else whatever the post you want to apply some canonical tag, you can just happily apply it. Okay, so here if you scroll down, this is some SEO analysis through Yoast, and click this advanced. There you can see a canonical tag. Can you see? Yeah. So here you need to enter the canonical tag. So write down, guys. This is what the canonical tag will be. Okay. Link rel equals to canonical. You have to mention like this. Okay. And then inverted commas. Href. Oh, give some space. Equals to. So what ikkada? So you need to enter the URL. So your URL, what URL I have to mention here again? What URL I have to mention?
The main URL.
The main URL, the main product or the main post which you're feeding it as the main thing. Okay. So let me just take this thing. Okay. And then enter the URL here. Then close inverted commas. That's it. Fine. So this is how the canonical URL you can enter it. So this is also very important. So if you have a different variations, so it is always better to have a canonical URL. Okay. Why? Because we no need to make our SEOs very weekend. So if Google finds out, it will raises the duplicate. So again, if it faces some duplicate issue, it will decreases our rankings.
Mhm.
So to make sure all those things, we are optimizing from the server side. That is what simply technical. Okay, so do remember this tag, guys. So again, this is also one more interview question. So what is canonical tag? Simply have it right. So done. Sitemap, Disavow tool, canonical tag. The next comes is a redirections.
Redirection.
Okay, guys. There are two kinds of redirections. One is 301 and one is 302. Do we know about redirections? Redirections. Now, the beginning stage, like on the
Mhm.
at the basics of our WordPress, I told you when I search for a fb.com, I am redirecting to a facebook.com.
Facebook.com.
When
Yeah.
I search for a FLIP also, I am redirecting to a FLIP. Sorry, FLIP CART.
Yeah.
What is it? So I'm redirecting to a original website. How they are making that things?
Redirections.
Redirections. That is with the help of redirections. Again, there are two kinds of redirections. You have to be very careful with these redirections as well. So 301 is a permanent redirections, and 302 is a temporary redirections. Let's say that I have two websites like ODMT and then Dizzy Course. Two websites I have, and ODMT is my old website and Dizzy Course was my new website. Okay, so I was working very hard on SEO on ODMT. I was trying to get few rankings. Yes, of course, fine. So SEO is working well with my ODMT. What happens here, I am constructing a one page in ODMT, but I don't want to show for the customer. So I want that ODMT will be hiding. I just want to hide ODMT for a few days. Okay, for temporary
Okay.
reason, I might be constructing the website or else,
Yeah.
so there are some temporary reasons. So at the time, I can make people to redirect to dizzycourse.in. That is for just only temporary reason.
Temporary.
So if I use this 302, so that will be like a temporary. What I'm trying to say to Google is that, yes, I'm redirecting to Dizzy course for temporary reason. So you no need to give SEO rankings to Dizzy course. You no need to shift complete authority of my ODMT to Dizzy course. You no need to do. So whatever the rankings and whatever the authority for ODMT will be for ODMT. You no need to shift for complete Dizzy course. Okay. So if you use this 301, it would be like a temporary. So when you want to make people to redirect for to other website for temporary reasons, you can use this redirection. Okay. And the next comes your 301 permanent. Again, I want to redirect the complete traffic. I want to shift the complete authority of my old website to new website. I don't want to continue with the ODMT. I just want to continue with the Dizzy course. Other time, so you have been working on ODMT for since 2 years, and since 5 years you are doing, right? Again, doing everything from scratch, is that possible for you for Dizzy course? Doing everything from
No.
scratch, right? So again, it would
Yeah.
be like a wasting time, right? Again, you need to work from scratch. So where is the work for ODMT? So you have been working from past 5 years, and now you are shifting the complete authority to Dizzy course. So what happens now? That is the reason I am using this permanent 301 redirection. So when I use this 301, so I'm trying to say Google that yes. So this Dizzy course will be my permanent website, permanent domain. You can switch the complete authority of this ODMT to a Dizzy course. So ODMT is nowhere now. So I don't want to continue with the ODMT. My original website will be a Dizzy course, but everyone knows ODMT, right? So now my website will be like a new one is Dizzy course. No one knows what is Dizzy course. Everyone knows ODMT only. But I don't want to continue with the ODMT. So people will be searching for ODMT, right? So that's the reason when people searches for ODMT, I would like them to redirect to Dizzy course. Got it now?
Yes,
so this
ma'am.
is what the redirections mean. Okay, now let us see how we can perform these redirections in our website. Okay, so don't do it unless it is necessary. Okay, let me
Chitra, can you please explain about 302 temporary? What exactly is it?
301 is temporary.
302. Yeah,
Two, two.
302 is 302 is temporary. So only for temporary reasons you are redirecting the customers to the particular website. After few days, and again you are continuing with your old website. So when
Okay,
you
for
feel
like few days if you want to.
so it might be, so due to some reasons, like you might be constructing few page, or else you might, there might be some server issues. So at
Like
that time,
yesterday, what happened with the DG
so at
course?
that time you can make people to redirect to kind of particular websites. Got it, Asha?
Yeah, got it, got it.
Okay. So in order to do this 301 and 302, so again there is a one plugin called 301 redirections. Use that plugin. This is the 301 redirections. Install
In
it.
this, both will be have, ma'am, like
Both
301
we
and
will be
302?
having 301 and 302.
Okay, so 301 and 32 are like only for one reason, like redirection.
Redirections. Yes.
Okay.
But there is a variation.
Yeah.
But I think we need to own both the domains, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, right? Yeah. So why we would like to
Hello?
redirect our traffic to our old website and another website, right? So we have to own both the websites again.
Yeah.
So now Flipkart and then FLIP KART and FLIP CART both have been owned by that website owners only.
Okay. Oh, I never tried that C and K.
Try now. FLIP.
And Facebook also. we do.
Okay.
FLIP.
Where I'm redirecting? Okay. I'll search with the director. FLIPKART.com.
Com.
Search with the original name only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me search.
We are habituated now.
Yeah, it's going to FLIP. Huh?
Connection is not private.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in such a way, if you want to redirect, so again you need to own the website. But if I don't own also, I can redirect the traffic to other website. Can I do that now?
How can you do that?
Simply pasting that URL. That's it.
No, I mean like without owning the URL.
See now, for whom it is a benefit, Asha?
Other website.
Website which is
So
For the website owner.
the website owner where I'm redirecting to, he will be the beneficiary. So here I'll be the loser if I make people to redirect to that website.
Yes. So we have to,
Yes.
that's why we have to purchase the both
Hmm.
domains.
So see here, configure redirects. I have just installed this 301. So there is an option called here drop down, right? Yeah. So if you click this drop down here, there is an option called 302 also. Okay. Let me choose this. So from which website to from where? Redirect from. Redirect to. Got it? So
Okay.
let
Yes,
me say
ma'am.
that.
DG codes to.
Spalch is it. So which website URL you have to paste here? Do I need to paste DigiCourse? Which website it is?
Splash DG.
Spalch is it? Okay. So you need to enter this website URL only. So
No, ma'am. So anyway, it's not working. No, I thought you were really going to.
all right, no problem. Okay, so I will use this DigiCourse. What happens when
Okay.
someone searches for spalchdizzy.com, they will be redirected to a DigiCourse.
DG codes.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
save it. That's it. Okay.